Hello, Mehmet. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. Just waiting for. We just went live. Just waiting for a couple of members to join, and then we'll get going. Just give us just a couple of minutes.
Sure.
I think because the initial StreamYard hiccup.
That's
Okay.
fine.
So let's get started. Mehmet, thank you for joining today. Assalamu alaikum, and hello everyone for joining who are joining the session today. Basically, I have a very exciting guest with me today, and those of you who might have heard about this growth in Amazon business, I wanted to make sure that we bring forward someone who has tremendous experience in managing and building businesses around Amazon. And those of you who are not in US, there is also a great opportunity for you to learn the basic fundamentals of Amazon. And our goal is to bring that forward to you and also make ourselves available in any way we can to help you develop, grow, manage businesses. And there's such tremendous opportunities as I have learned myself from Amazon, from on Amazon from Ahmed, on how sometimes simply, but at the same time, there is some complexity involved as well. As an end user, there is tremendous opportunity for us to, for anybody to make a tremendous amount of money on Amazon. So my name is Faz Sayed. I'm the president and CEO of Noyobi. And it's a pleasure for me to introduce Ahmed. Ahmed, Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you making time for us.
Walaikum assalam, Faz bhai. Thank you so much for having me. It's obviously an honor to be here, talk to you, and I would obviously love to help our viewers understand more about Amazon dropshipping and all of that.
That's awesome. So first of all, please, if you could take a minute or so to introduce yourself, and you know what you have been doing over the past while, as far as especially with Amazon. Where did your journey start, and how did you get to where you are, and what are you doing with Amazon right now?
Interesting question. So basically, my journey started where I graduated out of University of Tampa here in Florida. Or the reason I got into Amazon was I'm really, for me, I basically wanted to be my own boss. I didn't really want to work for anybody. I just wanted to invest in myself, and the e-commerce was the way to go, where you can just set up your own store and be your own boss, and decide your own working timings, and all those decisions are all up to you. And so after I graduated, I started looking into e-commerce. I started working with a couple companies, consulting with them how to set up their stores, how to source their products. And I got a job opportunity, something I wasn't looking for because I did want to be my own boss, but I got a job opportunity working with six international brands who have a cumulative revenue of around $300 million, and basically they wanted me to handle their stores for them. They wanted me to run their stores, make them better. And this was obviously different than having your own seller account, where you're only obviously not making as much money as 300 million. But so this was a total new experience, something I thought I needed under my belt. to be experienced with working with around 2,000 different types of products and around another 1,000, so total 3,000 variations of products. So yeah, basically, I thought it would be a good opportunity to work with an international brand, try to push their products, and within 3 months of me working there, I was able to increase their profits by 300%, and it was a learning curve, and here I am today.
That's pretty impressive. So, what we want to do today is really introduce some basic topics about Amazon, around Amazon, and when somebody is looking to create their own journey and taking their or either creating a new business on Amazon or taking their current business and Amazon. Um, Talk about, like, at the highest level, what are the different type of things that one person can do with Amazon as far as starting their journey as far as business is concerned. Things like we talked about, FBA, FBM. There are all these acronyms that we keep talking about, and as I'm learning from you myself, there are, there are all these buzzwords out there. But what do they really mean? And you start from where, like, that kind of like, maybe I'll ask you the question of what is drop shipping. Let's just start with that first.
Okay, sure, sure. Dropshipping is basically where a seller, so say if I'm the seller, I don't have to physically touch a product. uh, what I can do is I can source a product from a manufacturer. I can get that directly to my customer or directly to Amazon. And basically, you don't have to physically touch the product or be with the product. You don't need to store the product. You source the product from one end. You make sure that that product is available in your marketplace or in an Amazon warehouse, wherever you want it to be delivered. And it's actually, I would consider dropshipping a blessing that comes with e-commerce. The fact that you don't really have to touch a good, you don't have to go and pick it up yourself. You can just buy goods from one person, have it shipped to another person, and to your customer, and basically without even so there's two ways of doing it. Either you can already have a relationship with your manufacturer where you ask the manufacturer to ship out your orders every time you get receive an order, or you could just have the manufacturer send over all the product in bulk to your warehouse. And basically, the goal about dropshipping is that you don't need to be physically touching your products. Uh, you order it off one end, and it gets delivered to your customer. And you basically, it's like a hassle-free way of doing business without really investing any money. So a good idea would be, say, I put up a listing for this pen on Amazon. Now, as soon as I get somebody orders this pen from me on Amazon, that is when I will go to the manufacturer's website or call him or however you contact your manager, and I will, sorry, your manufacturer, and I'll have him send over that pen to my customer after I've received the payment. So obviously, I'm going to set a price, margins, and say I buy this pen from the manufacturer for $1, but I have it on Amazon for $3. Now somebody pays me $3, I pay the manufacturer $1, the manufacturer ships it himself. I don't touch the good, I just keep my margins, and it's simple as that.
Okay. So, but what? So you talked about, like, the transfer of goods and that kind of thing without actually even getting involved. Now, you as a person, when you're doing drop shipping, what is your interaction with Amazon itself?
Okay, so basically my interaction is on the back end where I need to go to first of all, obviously, activate these listings, imagery, backend optimization, keywording. I mean, these are like, if I first start talking to you about everything I have to do on back end, we would have to go into a couple hour long session. But basically, to sum it up, you have to make sure that your product organically. So say again, if I'm trying to sell this pen, it's a gel pen, right? So any and every time somebody goes on Amazon.com and writes gel pen, I need to optimize my listing in a way, keyword it in a way that every time somebody types in gel pen, my product shows up on the top, like the first 10, 20 listings. And basically, that's how you're gonna be able to actually convert some sales, basically.
Got it.
So if your back end isn't Amazon back end isn't optimized properly, that means that organically your product is not showing up in searches in the top pages, and that gives you a smaller chance of converting a sale because all the people who have um, who have listed their product correctly, who are doing the backend optimization correctly, they're obviously going to show up on the first one or second page, and they're going to end up getting those sales. So basically, your imagery, your pricing, your backend optimization, your search engine optimization, which is again keywording, needs to be on point. Um, you need to know exactly what kind of keywords, what kind of search terms are your customers using. Now, if this is a gel pen, I can't put it on as a I can't put sorry about that. I can't put it as a fountain pen because it's not. So that would be I'm sorry. It wouldn't be yeah, my dog
No, that's fine. That's
not
fine.
available right
Yeah,
now.
it's good we have extra audience members there, right there.
Yeah, totally. They're very interested to hear about Amazon. So yeah, so there's a lot of things which go into the back end, but what basically the idea is to correctly optimize your listing so people can organically find your product. Organically finding your product is just a simple search term where you're not paying any advertising costs on your product. So that would advertising would be
So that's really interesting because in my conversations with you and as I'm talking to you right now, I'm learning that as an individual, if somebody knows how to use Amazon and administer it, like how to use the basically those secrets that are involved in creating making some of the products more visible to the end user that you are managing a store that on the store that you're managing, but ultimately that knowledge base is all you need to be able to develop a successful business on Amazon. You are basically saying that the investment is your time or whatever learning you have to do, but after that you basically are becoming the center of all of the transactions or delivery process without even seeing the goods, and just having this enormous strength with you and just be able to start a business and make money out of it.
basically basically that's the idea. That's the dream where you just so so let's take it one step at a time, right? If somebody's opening a new store on Amazon, you really don't have to invest large sums of money to be selling on Amazon. Now, again, going back to my example of the pen, a pen is not very expensive. Um, where if I have an understanding with a manufacturer saying, "Hey, I'm going to be selling your product. Every time I get an order, I'll send you that order over, and you will ship it out to my customer. And once the customer pays you, you pay your manufacturer. So in that way, you're not putting in investing in any of your own money. You wait for somebody to give you the money, and then you go place your order with your manufacturer, and that's like a cost-effective way of running your business. And so from there, say you have, I don't know, 10 different kinds of products listed, which you are drop shipping from your manufacturer. Now, out of those 10 products, say there are 2 or 3 products that are like getting a lot of sales. That's the product you might try to go for. And actually, when you want, have the money and the time to invest or buy your product, that's the product I would go ahead and buy in bulk. I would buy a product in bulk until I know there's a demand for it. The way to find that out is you list a bunch of products. You don't pay for those products. You can buy them in bulk. You make sure that your manufacturer can ship one item at a time because some manufacturers are going to be like, okay, the minimum I can send out is 10 pens at a time. So a customer who's only ordered one doesn't need 10 pens, So you need to find a manufacturer who's ready to work with you to be able to sell your
Yeah.
product. who's going to ship your product, like one product at a time. And basically that depends on your research. You can easily, so if you're trying to source, you can go to websites like Alibaba. Over there you
Mm.
can find people who sell one product per sale or 10 products per sale, and that's basically how I would build on it.
Yeah, no, that's really good. As we have some new audience members joining, I just wanted to mention that this is Faz Sayed as your host, and I have with me Ahmed Rabbani, who I have an honor to and pleasure to know personally, and he's running a more than 100 to 300 million dollars business. He's managing a business that big on Amazon, and it's I myself am learning so much, and we are looking forward to sharing our knowledge with you all, also helping in any way, especially people who are remote, especially people who are in places like Pakistan, where we can create some opportunity for you to create that business. So, Ahmed, there is a question on uh, what is the future of Amazon in Asian markets such as Pakistan, Sri Lanka? And before we started the live session, you were starting to talk about the initial interactions that are happening. But I know it's early, but say something about that. Tell us what you. I know that it's still early, but tell us what you know so far.
Okay, so basically, Amazon has shown interest. Let's talk about the Asian market in general. Amazon is in, so Amazon is in, right now, currently, it's in Europe, it's in Japan, so that's going to be Pacific. You have Amazon in Australia, you have Amazon in India, in Asia.
Wow.
And so Amazon is interested to come to Pakistan. I'm not sure how far that deal or that process has come along. A couple months back, I read some news that they had shown some interest and they had talked to the government about setting up Amazon. Um, Basically, India has a huge market. They are already running FBA, which would be fulfillment by Amazon, FBM, fulfillment by merchant. A quick difference between the two: fulfillment by Amazon is when you source your products, you buy it in bulk and you send it over to Amazon's warehouse. And fulfillment by merchant, who would be me, the seller, would be that I'm buying the product and I'm making sure that the product reaches the customer without sending it to Amazon. And so, getting back to talking about Asian markets, yeah, it's a developing market, and there is a lot of growth in this market, but it isn't fully developed as yet. There's
Yeah.
there's Amazon India, and I hope soon we can have Amazon Pakistan, so all our viewers in Pakistan can actually take advantage of this.
Right, right. I'll add to what you just said, based on at least what I know is it takes a lot to do that, right? So Amazon is already it's such a big machinery, and it's so successful in so many big company, right, big countries like the Western world, especially in India itself. And as much as Amazon is going to grow in Pakistan and Sri Lanka, which is amazing population and opportunities and products there as well, it does not stop anybody who is in those countries to do business in Amazon. And that's where, if you have any sort of questions, reach out to us, post comments, and we'll be happy to share information with you, get in touch with you, and we're going to have more future sessions on this topic as well. So we talked about drop shipping, and in essence, for general public, without knowing a whole lot of technical information, drop shipping gives people the opportunity to build a business as long as you have good contacts with manufacturers or other distributors or businesses that are willing to put their products on Amazon. So you can actually facilitate that process for them, and you can actually build a business through that process by charging them fees or taking margins out of that, the product sales and things like that. And you could be basically a middleman in that process, and just through drop shipping, having knowledge of Amazon, there's a tremendous opportunity for people to make money out of it, which is great. There are two other buzzwords that we keep hearing about: FBA, FBM. So talk about that, please, and tell us what FBM is, tell us what FBA is, and
Sure.
tell us FBM a little bit more first, and then see what
Okay.
is it.
So I'll walk you through this. So
Yeah.
basically, again, FBA is fulfillment by Amazon. FBM is fulfillment by merchant. When you're fulfilling by Amazon, you're sending your product over to Amazon warehouses. Now that could be already packaged product, or that could be a product that's not packaged. Amazon could package that product for you at an extra cost, which is usually 50 cents in here in the US. Uh, um, and they will ship it out to you. Now, what's good about FBA is that Amazon obviously has economies of scale because they're shipping out millions of packages a day, maybe not even in like months. They're sending out millions of packages a day. So they have obviously they have cheaper shipping, they have faster shipping. Now you want to do so for somebody who's, let's keep this simple, for somebody who's starting a business on Amazon and lacks funds or capital to actually invest on themselves, I would ask them not to directly start with FBA, where you send over a stock or like quite a big amount of product over to Amazon. You're better off doing FBM, which is fulfillment by merchant, which is the drop shipping we were talking about. So
Mm.
there, you don't have to ship out. Say, if again the example for the pens, if I'm selling this pen on Amazon, if I want to successfully sell on FBA, I'll have to buy thousands of these pens and send them over to an Amazon warehouse. Now, the issues with that is Amazon's going to charge you monthly rents for keeping your product in their storage. They're going to charge you for labeling the product. They're going to charge you for packaging the product. They're going to charge you for shipping the product. And on top of that, they're going to charge you Amazon's fees for doing business on their website. So obviously, with somebody who doesn't have a lot of capital behind them, that is FBA, fulfillment by Amazon, should be your second step. First of all, you find your products, you source your products, you do FBM for fulfillment by merchant through a drop shipping method where you receive an order on your Amazon, you reach out to your manufacturer and you tell them to ship your one product or however many your products they've ordered from you. You ask your manufacturer to ship them directly to your customer. And once you start listing a bunch of products and you start getting traction on those listings, that is when I would suggest a person to switch from FBM to FBA, because now you know what product you need, what product has a demand, which product you can meet, which product you can buy in bulk without actually suffering any losses. And
Mm.
then you're better off sending that product over to Amazon, because to let them do what they do best, which would be getting your product out in time, like in perfect condition. They'll take care of all the customer service. One interesting thing about FBA and FBM. So say if I was fulfilling my own shipping would be FBM, and a customer is not happy with the product I'm selling, whatever review they leave, that's going to stick to my product for as long as I'm selling that product. Interesting about FBA, fulfillment by Amazon, is that once you list something on Amazon because Amazon's fulfilling your shipping, and they mess up your shipping or they mess up your product in some way, those reviews, those bad reviews will not stick to your account. And I mean, right now you might not think that reviews are important, but reviews are the most important thing on Amazon.
Mm.
Firstly, our viewers need to know that when you're using Amazon.com to sell your product, you're it is your product, it is your idea, but Amazon considers it their product because it's
Mm.
on their website. So even when Amazon talks to you directly, they will tell you the listing is yours, but the product is ours. And that's why you have to follow a bunch of strict rules, something I think Pakistan is going to suffer with, because
Yeah.
Amazon Amazon asks you to run a very transparent and a very user-friendly business where the customer is always right.
Mm.
And in Pakistan, we don't see that a lot, that the customer is always right, or people aren't as happy as to make sure that their customer is always happy with them. That is something that's not going to run on Amazon. If
Mm.
somebody leaves one bad review on your product, that will reduce your sales incrementally in the future. And same way, one good review could mean 100 more orders coming in just because of that one good review. These reviews can stick to your account for the rest of life, basically for the
Mm.
rest of the time you're doing business on Amazon. So you need to be careful when you're doing business on Amazon. yes, you're gonna get few returns. People are not gonna be happy with the product, especially now that I've been doing Amazon for a while now. Comparing from before to now, after COVID, people are not in a very good headspace right now.
Mm.
So it is very easy to make your customer unhappy. Your shipment reaches 2 days late, they're unhappy. There's a problem with your product, they're unhappy. You don't help them out in time, they will leave a review, which will make you lose future sales. And that's something that's like you have to tread very carefully when you're on Amazon, because once you start getting 1, 2, 3 bad reviews, Amazon's just going to take your listing off. And say if you had 100 good reviews and you get 3 or 4, 5 bad reviews right after each other, does not matter how good your product was doing, Amazon will still take it off. So you need to tread very carefully when it comes to Amazon and your products and your customers, especially.
No, that's cool. That that is so. I mean, what you just said about selling on Amazon, one thing you have to always think about is how do we make like this thing about customer is always right. It couldn't be more true for Amazon. That's such a great statement because and then having sold stuff on eBay and Amazon a few little while ago, and just one bad review, it's almost like your ratings come down, and depending on what they say, it takes forever. And then in a place like where we come from, Pakistan, and in making sure all you're on top of your game basically.
So I'll add to that. Basically, um, when I've been working with Amazon in the U.S., the U.K., and like Puerto Rico, Mexico, something I've noticed is that it's very important for us as the seller to just ensure that there's a trust between you and your customer. Because say if your customer, there's going to be a lot of times when your customer is going to, like, there's nothing wrong with your product, the customer knows there's nothing wrong with your product, but they're still going to go try to do two things. Either they're going to try to return your product, or they're going to say the product didn't work, and Amazon is going to refund them directly if you approve it or don't approve it. So it doesn't matter what you decide to do. So you're better off returning that product before Amazon goes and fulfills their refund by themselves. That would mean that the customer would leave a bad review. Amazon, it would ruin your metrics, which is like how well you're performing on Amazon. It would ruin your metrics. So you're better off just taking care of your customer yourself before they just go to Amazon themselves, and Amazon's going to help them out anyway. Because again, it's your listing, but it's Amazon's product because it's on their website.
So then another question comes to mind is we are in Pakistan used to keeping very low margins, and it's
Hmm.
pricing. I'm going to sell you cheaper, and all that good, all that old-fashioned thinking around business. When if first of all your product has to be high quality, but then you got to have some reasonable margins, right, as well, so you can handle these returns. And because I'm sure when the product come back to you, it's not, I mean, probably the packaging may have not been exactly 100% as a brand new. So I mean, you must have to keep that in mind, right, as part of returns as well in your
Yeah,
own.
yeah, totally. I mean, see, there's two kind of different products you can go for. Now, if you go for something simple like a pen, you're gonna buy a pen for $1. You can maybe you sell it for $2. I mean, nobody's going to buy a pen for $5, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, margin is very important, and to increase your margins, you have to basically differentiate your product. A good way of differentiating your product would be creating your own brand on Amazon. Once you
Mm.
create that brand, nobody can copy that listing. That's your product now. So if I was ordering these pens from my manufacturer and I told him to take off their name and put in my name on it, which would be my brand, which I register with Amazon, now I can go ahead and sell this for $10 because it's not a normal pen anymore. It's a branded pen. It's like you can buy a T-shirt for $20 or $500 depending on where you buy it from. So you really need to differentiate your product to be able to increase your margins. That's one. The other way would be that you find something that's a niche market where you don't have a lot of competitors. So something I would. What's a good idea? So say if I was selling hand stitched cushion covers, something that we have some amazing people in Pakistan who can do some amazing work with hand stitched embroidered stuff, right? So if
Hmm.
you're selling something which obviously is uh, being manufactured by hand by a person, no one else can be able to replicate that, and that is where you can charge extra money and increase your margins when you have a good which is not widely available all over Amazon, because that's still differentiated product under your own brand registration.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. This I see this question a lot, right? I mean, all these, especially in this COVID world, there's a
Hmm.
lot of have gone online. There's been e-commerce sites coming left and right.
Hmm.
Um, Amazon.com has been around. How do these other sites? One of the questions was like in UAE, apparently there is a website called Noon.com. I was not familiar with it, but someone was asking Sabine online, like how, what's the scope of Amazon in places like Dubai where there are already, other sites up and running doing some of the similar things. Right now in Pakistan, there's the Raz,
There
obviously.
are. Yeah, basically Amazon is, so e-commerce is a very like I don't know, a broad industry. You have a lot of e-commerce platforms out there. So for me, when I sell my products, I sell them on Amazon firstly because that's the biggest and the best, excuse me, the best place to sell your product. Then there's eBay, there's Walmart.com, there's Overstock.com. So the more places your product, so say you're a seller, the more places your product is available, the more sales you're gonna get. Now, say if you're in Pakistan and if your product is available in Lahore only, then you're gonna make sales in Lahore only. But if your product is available in Lahore, in Karachi, in Islamabad, in Quetta, you're gonna make more sales. Basically, you want to list your product everywhere you can, and
Mhm.
and yeah, that just increases the amount of sales you're gonna end up making. Yeah, um, compared to Amazon, eBay is going to have lower sales, but it's still going to be selling if that website has good footfall, like good traffic coming in, you're going to make sales. So yeah, we're talking about Amazon here, but you can take your product over to any e-commerce website as long as you're allowed to sell on that website. You're allowed to list your product there. You have the chances of making money. So let's just remind everybody else that e-commerce is not all about Amazon. It's about listing your product online and making your product available to sell on multiple platforms.
Mhm. That's a great point. Well, I think that's a really, I think that's a good point place where we can stop right now. Uh,
Hmm.
we have had a lot of folks join already and ask some of these questions, and I expect in the future discussions we would have a lot more to come. And I wanted to share with the people who are listening and will be listening to this video later on that setting up some more detailed sessions. We will be diving into some of the workshops that we'll be doing on Amazon. And I look forward to spending more time with Ahmed online with you all and helping you all in any way. In the meantime, if you have any questions, feel free to contact us. Send us a message on our website as well, or just since we are on Facebook, just reach out to our page, just and send us a message, and Ahmed and I will collect all those messages and discuss with you in our next session or over email or whatever. Ahmed, I wanted to thank you for joining. If you have anything to add to what I just said, feel free.
I would firstly like to thank you for having me here. I
Anytime.
really like the initiative you're taking with Noyobi. I think there's a lot of scope and there's a lot of growth in e-commerce and Amazon, eBay, wherever you want to selling your product online. I think I sincerely believe that there's a lot to learn here. There's a lot of information that people need to actually know before they can successfully launch their business on Amazon. Um,
Yeah.
More about time than it is about spending money.
Mm.
It's more about the time you need to put in. I'm like Amazon changes every day. It's a algorithm based system. It changes every day. They're updating their website all the time. You have to learn to evolve with Amazon. It's not like you can just read a book and now you're the master of that book. They keep on adding new chapters to it. So this is it's a long process, but what me and you can help our viewers with. I'm sorry. Hey, relax. What we can help our what we can help our viewers with is that we can help train them, we can help them with establishing their businesses online, and we can help them with different segments of Amazon or website, like advertising, like listing their products, like imagery. Like there's a lot of different
Yeah,
smaller subtopics that we can help our
great
viewers with
point.
if they're looking for it.
Really, really good points. Thanks, Ahmed. Inshallah, we'll be talking to you soon. Thanks, everyone, for listening, joining. We'll talk to you soon as well. Have a good day. Assalamu alaikum. Bye.